From recruiting and consulting firm Riderflex, I'm your host, Steve Urban, and here is your Riderflex episode of the day. And on today's episode of the Riderflex podcast, we have JB Kellogg, the co-founder and co-CEO of Madwire. Madwire is a technology company that provides business management and marketing software and services for small businesses and franchises. Their brands consist of Marketing 360, Website 360, Spacecraft, and Top Rated Local. Great conversation with JB. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for tuning in to the Riderflex podcast. JB Kellogg, so awesome to have you on the Riderflex podcast, man. Thanks a lot for calling in. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it.
You know, we're close, right? I'm in Johnstown, Colorado, and you're right up the road in Fort Collins. Or are you in Austin today?
I'm in Fort Collins today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We're super close. I know we got a little personal connection there. I know you went to Loveland High School and played football and wrestled, and my boys are wrestlers. And so when I was doing my homework on you, I thought, oh wow, that's cool. We can relate. He knows what it's like to spend 12 hours in a gym every Saturday for 4 months.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wrestling, I always felt like I was in good shape after football. And the first day of wrestling practice, I realized I was nowhere near where I needed to be. Wrestling's a whole nother level.
It sure is. Didn't it just teach you all kinds of character? I mean, really, when you think
absolutely.
back.
Oh, no, more than any other sport. Toughness and just grit. And you have to be long suffering, work through the pain, and it's just mano-a-mano in there. And so, yeah, wrestling is a great sport. Highly recommended. I still have those connections too. When you meet another wrestler, there's just that extra bond that you don't have with other people. You just instant respect. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. By the way, there's instant bond with the parents too, because, all those hours in the gym, and of course, me sneaking out with the dads to the parking lot and maybe having a couple of beers and coming back in and watch the rest of the wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. All day event. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was good fun. So yeah, speaking of the personal stuff, before we get into Madwire and your career, just, give the listeners an overview, right? Let's start with that. Grew up in Loveland, Colorado, and just talk to them about your personal life and maybe some family stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I grew up in Loveland, Colorado, 4 siblings. I was the oldest. I have 3 sisters. Okay. Grew up in this area, was very much involved in sports. Football was kind of my number one. Wrestled since I was, very small. So football, wrestling all the way through, really was excited about my opportunities in athletics. Went to college, played college football. Wow. Started at Montana State as a quarterback, injured my shoulder and had surgery. So that kind of transferred around from there to JUCO, played JUCO football, then got a scholarship to Western New Mexico, finished up playing football there and actually played strong safety by that point. So,
wow. Okay. So played all 4 years through college.
All basically. 4 years through college. Yep. Absolutely.
So you were a quarterback at Loveland.
At Loveland, that's right.
Okay. Yep. All right. They always take those quarterbacks from high school, right? Because they're usually the best athlete on the team most of the time, and then they push them into other positions, right, when they get to college.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's kind of the way that it worked. Although,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say my bragging point at Loveland is still Colin Klein, who was up for the Heisman on Kansas State.
Okay.
I still have the records over him. So I still make sure everyone knows that.
That's good. That's good. I love that. I love that. Isn't there, now that you're a professional executive CEO and you've hired hundreds and hundreds of people, and I really believe this, there is something different about people that played college athletics. I mean, if you played 4 years in college, I don't care what division, there is something different about those people most of the time. They're super ass competitive. They're coachable. They're team oriented. I mean, just all of it. Right. And maybe not every time, but 90% of the time, if I see somebody that I'm recruiting at Riderflex and I see, went to Cornell and played lacrosse for 4 years, like, I want to talk to that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you see that too, if you feel the same.
100%. Absolutely. Actually, we just had a leadership roundup, we call it, last week. We do it once a month with our leadership team. And I was just saying that very thing, which is, we're trying to build a championship team here. And if you look at any championship team, whether it's a sports team or another organization or a company, It's all a team. And at the end of the day, the team has to believe in the mission. They have to believe in the vision and the strategy. They have to believe in each other. Everybody has to do their part. They have to buy into the culture of the team, right?
Right.
And if you don't have all of those things, you're not going to be a championship team. And if somebody doesn't believe in the vision and the strategy and the culture, it's our responsibility as leaders to help them understand the why and get their buy-in in there. And ultimately, if they don't, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Go work somewhere else. Be on a different team. But but you don't fit our team. You know, we're building a championship team, so that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I totally agree. So after college, tell me why, because I was trying to study your profile. I tried to really figure that out. So did you and your dad start Madwire together? Did you work for somebody else? What's that gap right after college before Madwire started in 2009? Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So right after college football, I had an internship at a company called Zia Publishing, which was a local magazine company near our college. And I had self-taught myself design a little bit. I walked in there, asked for an internship, whether it's designing magazine ads, whatever it might be. They didn't have anything available, but they asked if I knew how to build a website. I told them I have no idea, but give me a desk and a couple of weeks and I'll figure it out. They did. It took a couple months, but I ended up figuring it out. They loved it. So I was walking around realizing not a lot of people at that time really knew how to do that. That was around 2004.
Okay.
And so when I graduated, I worked with my dad at a brokerage company called Traders Network. It's a company he had started, 20 years prior to that.
I see.
And I worked there for about 5 years, rebuilt their website several times, was doing digital marketing on brand new channels. We ran Google Ads.
Was that Colorado?
That was in Loveland, Colorado.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. So we started doing Google AdWords and things like that when it very first came out. Started learning some software engineering and those sorts of things, in the trading world. And so we realized that small business was shifting from traditional marketing to digital, but in the brokerage industry, that shift had already occurred. We already knew how to do it, and we're successful at it. And so my dad and I, we work out every day, we still do. And we were talking.
By the way, you guys are in great shape. When I was studying and finding pictures on Google, I'm like, damn, they're still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
your dad too. And I'm guessing your dad's my age or maybe a little older. I'm 52. How old is he? Does he mind you sharing that?
He would be 59.
Oh, he looks great. He looks great.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah, he's looking good.
but yeah, so go ahead. So you guys are that brokerage, by the way, what was it called?
Traders Network.
Traders Network. Okay. So you're doing that, and you were doing you were just worked your way up there, right? You were, you weren't like you weren't COO or co-COO or anything like that.
No. Yeah. I was just working on the brokerage desk and managing all the marketing and those things. So sales and marketing. That's what I was doing. So.
All right. And then you guys started to see this digital shift. Go ahead.
Yeah, we could see the shift. And so we were working out one day talking about, how the one thing we didn't like about the brokerage industry was, the markets were uncontrollable. So it could be very volatile. Your work ethic and those sorts of things didn't necessarily pay off if the market crashed. There's nothing you could do about it. Right. So we were thinking, beyond that, are we adding the most value? Trading's important because farmers hedge their crops. We were trading commodities and those things, currency trading, it's all needed in the world. But most of the people we were working with, a lot of them were basically gambling. So we didn't feel like we were making a huge impact. So we were talking like, hey man, how can we add the most value to the world, really help? And we were thinking, hey, helping small businesses grow. There's nothing better than that. And we know exactly the recipe for that. We've been doing it, and all the small businesses that are currently in the newspaper and the yellow pages, they need to make this shift. We have a template we think will work. Let's do small business marketing. That was the thinking. And so we did some research. It was about 3 days of research, and we said, hey, let's do it cold turkey. We gave away all our accounts. And just the two of us founded Madwire in a room that was no bigger than, 10 by 10 square feet.
Wow. Okay. Holy cow. And when you founded it, did you have some immediate clients, or was it like, okay, now we got to go get clients?
Yeah, we were like, now we got to go get clients. Exactly. Yeah, we had no accounts.
No employees, no accounts.
No, just the two of us.
How did you decide Madwire?
Madwire, we went back and forth on a lot of names. So we ended up ultimately settling on Madwire just because we came up with the acronym MAD, M-A-D, marketing and design.
Oh, I see.
And the wire we added on there because everything was shifting digital. So we went with Madwire, and we loved it. And once it came to us, we loved it, and we still love it.
Oh, it's a great name. And now You and your dad must have been super close growing up then, right? Your relationship, obviously, to work with your dad day in and day out, you got to
Yeah.
have a pretty close relationship, right?
Oh yeah, we definitely did. He was my football coach all the way through from a little kid, wrestling coach. So, we
Okay.
were used to being in a teamwork type environment all the way through.
Was there ever a moment when he said, "Hey, let's start Madwire together"? Did you ever think, yeah, I want to do that, but I kind of want to go do my own thing? I mean, was that, you know, was there
Yeah.
ever any doubts, or you just knew the whole time?
No, I knew the whole time it was a perfect fit. He has a really good financial background, so he was our CFO initially.
Okay.
Really strong in those areas with financials. I was really strong on the technical side. We were both strong in sales
Okay.
and marketing, so it just seemed like the perfect fit. And we feel. I mean, if you put us together, we're gonna make it happen. So we felt good about that.
So if you and him, those early days when you guys are taking your a client out, do you remember when you guys signed your first client? By the way,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
is that
Yeah.
you and him? Is that you and him together, like buying somebody dinner and drinks and trying to get them to sign the contract? How did that go?
No, no, it was doing the same thing we were selling. So we set up all of our ad campaigns digitally, and we actually turned them on. We went to work out. We
Okay.
came back, and we had our first lead. We called that lead, and we closed that lead. That account's actually still with us today. So we opened that account,
That's
very first lead we ever generated.
that is fantastic. Wow, you came back and like, boom, you got it. You got an account.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
good moment. That was a special moment, right?
We were like, this is going to blow up. So, but all the leads were inbound. We never did any cold calling, no networking. It was all just inbound leads. Somebody would fill out a form on our website or pick up the phone and call us, and we'd engage with them at that point.
Wow. Okay.
So
Wow. Now back then, did you have like people answering the phone, or did you have like they didn't have
that
the
was
little,
us.
that
Yeah,
was you and him.
me and him. We answered every call, closed every deal, managed every account.
That is,
Until we had enough accounts to hire somebody. So
now that's got to feel special, because how many employees today for Madwire?
today, about 650.
650. And the cool thing is you can tell every one of those employees, you can be like, hey bro, I've done it all. I've licked stamps.
Yep,
I've
every role.
I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. Whatever you're doing, I've done it.
Absolutely.
That's got to feel good. Okay, cool. So that was in '09. It started taking off. And then at what point, when did you say, okay, wow, now we're gonna have to hire up a bunch of people? And talk about when you started hiring a bunch. And then also, did you guys ever take on any cash, or did you just bootstrap it and the whole time, and you've never taken on an investment? Start talking about some of that stuff, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. We hired our first person about 6 weeks in,
Okay.
and the nice thing about our business is it's reoccurring revenue in nature. So that part of it's nice. So we had, our calculations for when we added headcount based on MRR, recurring revenue.
Okay.
And just as like a snowball, as we had more accounts and more recurring revenue, we added more people and just kept rolling up that way. About 2012, we realized, we learned enough to be dangerous and realized what technologies we needed to build. Initially, we wanted to have software. We just didn't know what to build. We didn't have any experience. So from 2009 to 2012, we learned a lot. We built Marketing 360, which was the first version of our Marketing 360 platform.
Okay.
Which was more of a reporting platform at that point. There wasn't a lot of things the user could do. It was mostly just reporting.
Okay.
We redesigned that in 2014 to where users had things that they could do. There was a CRM module. They could actually manage their leads, manage their customers, do things within platform, not just have reporting. We were bootstrapped from 2009 to 2014 all the way through there.
Wow.
2014, we brought on a couple partners, a couple equity partners, very small. And not necessarily because we needed the cash. We were getting so big, we felt like we needed more cash, just almost for like insurance for a tough time.
Okay.
Not necessarily to really increase growth. We wanted to just maintain growth and increase efficiency. And so that was in 2014. No activity since then. So we still
Okay.
have basically all that what we raised there is still on the balance sheet today for the
Oh,
most part.
well, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
And you and your
Yeah.
dad are still in complete control of the company, private company.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah.
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 Small pieces there. So
That's great, man. Congratulations on what you guys have done over the last 10 years. And so for the listeners that may not know Madwire, but I got to tell you, most people in Colorado do for sure, and across the country. But just in case, why don't you give the, as of today, 2-minute overview what does Madwire do and how can they help small business? By the way, I love the little line on the website that says, "We love entrepreneurs." Love that.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead. Give a nice overview if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, Madwire, we're a technology company that focuses on helping small businesses grow. So we have three brands, really. Marketing 360 is our flagship brand. So nationally, we would probably be known more for Marketing 360 than Madwire.
Okay.
Top Rated Local is another brand of ours, which is a local directory type of review site. And then Websites 360, which is a website platform similar to Wix or Squarespace. We own that as well. Marketing 360 is the flagship because it's the singular platform that a small business can use to manage and market their business. And the selling point really for us is it's not just a platform with technology and tools that a small business can use to manage and grow their business, but you also can add the dedicated team. So what I mean by that is a dedicated marketing executive, which serves as essentially your outsourced marketing director, a creative person that can do videos and design, a content marketer that can write content, create social media content, reputation managers, social media managers. It allows you to build basically a dedicated marketing team for a fraction of the cost of what it would be to hire an internal team, and a lot more experience. And so you have the software element, but then you can bolt on the team on top of it if you want to.
So perfect almost for companies that are from 100 million to 1 million, or what's your target customer?
Yeah, we look at it more employees than revenue, really. And so our best customers, usually 3 employees to 20 employees, is pretty common. Up to 50 is pretty good. When they get over 100 employees, a lot of times at that point they have internal dedicated teams. They might be using our software still, but they have internal people that are managing their marketing.
So in other words, Riderflex, my company, we're your perfect target because we don't we don't really have a marketing expert on the team. I mean, here's a perfect example. I'm glad we're talking about this. So I have a creative guy that is kind of a friend of mine that helped us with our website, but he's not really a website guy. And then I have another person that does some social media, but it's basically me and her figuring out how to do social media, and we're just kind of doing it. We really don't know what we're doing.
Right. Yeah.
And we sure as hell don't know what we're doing when it comes to paid ads on social media. And you're right. I can't afford to hire a full-time $80,000, $100,000 a year marketing person. Not yet. We're just not quite there yet. But it'd be great to have somebody like Madwire to lean on to manage those things. And is it like a monthly fee, or is it pay by is there all kinds of programs and stuff? I guess you probably have. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it depends on the program. So for just a website, like with Websites 360, is $25 a month. So that's our lowest really package. Our software platform, Marketing 360, is $395 a month. When you start adding dedicated talent, that starts at $695 a month. So our average customer, coming in the door is generally coming in around $1,500 to $1,800 a month, and that would include a dedicated team of usually 3 or 4 people doing various things like social media or ad management or rep management. So when you compare that, to hire somebody internally, just one person for $1,800 is you couldn't find anybody, let alone get a team of 3 or 4 that are pretty talented. So
I appreciate you summarizing that. So for $1,500 to $1,800 a month, I basically can outsource my marketing to Madwire pretty much as a small company.
That's right. Yeah.
And probably get a hell of a lot better results than we're getting now. Well, that's the whole thing, right? So let's talk about that. Riderflex as a recruiting firm, we have to chase our business, right? We have to. I mean, sometimes it's people that just call in, but 75% of our revenue, we're going after. We're having to call people. We're having to take people to dinner and all these things. What you're saying is, hey, if you hire Madwire, you can outsource your marketing for cheaper than you can hire somebody internally, and you can improve our inbound calls, our inbound traffic. Is that accurate?
That would be the goal. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's no guarantees, but that's obviously the goal. And sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it happens faster, but then there's more to it than just acquisition. There's marketing to past customers and with, email marketing and retargeting to get them to come back and work through you, those sorts of things. reputation management's huge, because if you don't have a solid online reputation, a lot of, 86% of people, I saw a recent study on Google, which was pretty eye-opening. 86% of people, before they call you or fill out a lead form of sorts, they check your brand name and the word reviews on Google. So they do that quick search. So if you don't have good reviews, or worse yet, you have bad reviews, you're missing out on 86% of people that would have otherwise called you. So
Yep.
there's a lot of other things like that you can tighten up in that conversion funnel to generate more leads.
Managing reviews is a big deal. I tell you, companies that aren't managing that, and I'm not talking about just Google reviews, but their Glassdoor reviews. Like if they're not managing that, they're missing the boat. And by the way, your guys, you're breaking records with Glassdoor reviews over there.
Yeah.
And that's I mean that as a compliment. Your online reputation is phenomenal, not just for the company, but yours personally. And I think that's so critical. I recently interviewed 2 different CEOs that own, branding marketing agencies. And hell, they can't even fix their own branding reputation. I'm like, how are you gonna
Yeah.
how you gonna fix that? How you gonna, have somebody pay you when you can't even fix your own? But you and Madwire, I mean, you obviously manage that very closely, and it's really good online. So congratulations on your reputation.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That stuff's not easy. It's very time consuming, and every business has to deal with that. So a lot of that $1,800 a month for our average account, a lot of that's just the price of saving the time, for small businesses, because they're doing a lot of the stuff themselves. And
yes,
especially reputations these days, I keep telling people there's 2 types of businesses. There's the businesses that have bad reviews, and there's those that will have bad reviews, because it's too easy now. People could easily leave a bad review. And so unless you're actively pursuing your happy customers to leave good reviews and share those experiences, they're not going to do that. That's what they expected when they signed up. So
that's absolutely right. The one other thing I would add there, not to go too deep on reviews, but the one other thing, having been a CEO of a couple of $40 million companies myself before Riderflex, the big challenge is when you're running a company and you go through a hiccup, right? There's a downturn, or you have a layoff, or there's a pivot point, or there's an acquisition that didn't go well, and bodies are leaving the building. And as they leave the building, they're starting to blow you up on Glassdoor and those things. Yeah. That's the critical point where you have to say, all right, hold on. We're about to make this change. When we do, it's going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
We got to get ahead of it and manage the reviews, or else, we're going to get crucified.
It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly. Yep.
Yep.
And you got to manage it. By the way, we're super sensitive. I always tell my recruiters, because Riderflex has like over 100 5-star reviews on Google. And I always tell my recruiting team, I'm like, the very first recruiter that gets a bad review, I'm going to kill somebody.
You're killing us.
I'm just joking, but I'm like you. I make a big deal about it.
That's huge. Yeah,
for sure. So at this point, let me ask you a couple of questions about what it's like to be a young CEO. Tell me, what's some advice you would give a first-time CEO that's in their 30s? By the way, are you, I'm guessing you're in your early 30s. I don't know for sure, but
39. Yep.
39. Okay. Yep. What advice would you give first-time CEO in their mid 30s, now that you've been in this role for a while? What would you tell them?
Man, there's just so much you learn over the years. Hindsight's 20/20, so it's always tough to, I think I always go back on do what you feel is right, but you'll be criticized anyways. That's what I always say. And
I like that.
I found that to be true, like just follow your gut on that. And that's down to hiring. There's always, you can feel in your guts, somebody seems really good, but there's just something telling you there's just something not right. You hire them, you're always right on that, So just follow your gut. If you think a process needs to be a certain way, go with it. You can always change, you can always adjust, but don't get caught in the weeds. Just move fast, adjust on the fly, and trust your gut, I think would be my opinion on that.
Okay. And what about this advice for people thinking about joining a family member? Their dad's trying to talk them into coming and helping them with their business. Any advice for that young man or woman?
Yeah. We have, Lights problem. Having a
That's
light issue
okay.
here.
That was
Yeah.
such a good question that I got
Yeah.
the lights to flicker. No,
Knocked the building out. We have a lot of people and related at Madwire actually. I think there's about 13
oh,
cousins and folks here, so I have a lot of experience in that area. It's been really great experience for us. So I've heard a lot of horror stories, but for us, working with family has been great. We don't treat them different, to be honest. I mean, same goals, same expectations, if not even higher level of expectation with those folks. I think with anybody, family or not, it's about setting clear expectations up front, being direct.
have
Don't,
you?
like my dad says, don't pillow fluff. Just tell them, don't sugarcoat it.
Your dad was a little league wrestling coach. I'm guessing there was no pillow fluff involved. I'm guessing he was a pretty direct
No,
guy.
my dad's very direct. Yeah. Yeah, he will tell you there's no hiding how he feels about something. So I think that's good.
I think it helps decisions happen faster, right? I mean,
Yeah.
decisions happen faster. Have you had to fire a family member, by the way?
No, I wouldn't say fire. But that not all family members still work here that started here, but everybody left on good terms, different opportunities, those sorts of things.
You promoted them to customer.
Yeah, exactly.
What about this? A lot of success now early as a professional already for you. If you could go back and call that young man coming out of college, would you tell him, what advice would you give him? And would you have him do anything differently?
I would have told myself to do this faster because I knew right when I got out of college after my internship, when I self-taught myself a lot of this digital stuff, that was the opportunity. And I talked to my dad about it at that time, but the problem was there was no real businesses doing that yet. It was, freelancers here and there. And so we just, stuck with the brokerage industry for 5 years. And, we learned a lot along the way, which was great. But had we started right when I jumped out of college, I knew the opportunity was there. Had I seized that then, we would be, a much larger and more successful company because market share, we would have captured significant market share. By the time we started, there was a lot more competition. There's a lot more competition now. And so capturing market share is more challenging than it would have been, had we started then. So I guess my advice is, if it goes back to follow your gut, like if you see an opportunity and you think you can make an impact there, despite all the fear, the unknowns, those things, pursue it. If it doesn't work out, you can always pivot another direction. And had I done that, I think we would have been, much further along than we are now.
Aren't you amazed when you meet people that want to start a business? You talk to them and they're like, "Oh, I got this idea and I really want to start it, but I'm worried, I'm scared, or I don't have enough money in the bank to start it." Do you tell them, or do you just say, "Listen, man, just go for it. Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You can just go. You can just go get a job, right?"
Right. Yeah. I mean, give it 100% for 1 month. At the end of the month, you got a lead, you got a sale, you didn't, you learned some stuff. Like everybody has a month to try to sink their teeth into something 110%. So
That's a
and if
great
that doesn't
point.
work out, go another direction.
Exactly, and it'll be okay.
Right. You'll still be alive. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be okay. So is the plan to just, I mean, you don't have to, give us top secret stuff for the company, but are you just going to keep growing it and have fun and just, continue to take it nationwide? Or do you want to eventually, I mean, hell, it looks like you've made several acquisitions lately. You want to just keep acquiring people? What's the plan?
Yeah, right now our main focus is 3 areas: growth, profitability, and technology. And then we're just trying to improve in all those areas. So ultimately our goal is just to continue to help small businesses grow and create an impact there. We
Okay.
want to increase profitability because we feel that with profitability, we can improve our employee benefits, things like that. We can control our own destiny. We can make this really, truly the best place to work in the country, we hope. We can build a campus someday, those sorts of things. We need profitability for that. We need growth because that ties to our mission. If we're not helping more small businesses grow, that kind of goes against our values there. So we need to grow our account base. That's really important. And we want to really invest in technology. So that's part of those acquisitions, is investing in technology so that our customers and our team truly has the best tools and best user experience possible to do their job well. And for our clients to manage their business as well. So those are the areas of focus. If we do those things well, the rest takes care of itself, whatever that might be. whether that's IPO someday or not. We just keep growing as a profitable company. Either way is fine.
Why'd you open the office in Austin? Was that a strategic move for business down there?
We acquired the website platform down there. The Websites 360 is an acquisition of Spacecraft, which was a website platform, and they were located in Austin. So
I see.
When we acquired them, we left the team in place and the office in place.
Okay.
And just maintain that. Yeah.
Well, listen, bro, you got offices in two of the coolest cities in the country. Fort Collins.
Works out great in the winter too. It's perfect. We go down to Austin. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I've lived in Northern Colorado and I've lived in Austin. And when I was doing my homework, I'm like, damn, they got offices in two really cool towns.
I love it.
That's
my eyes on Scottsdale. It'd be if we have
okay.
Scottsdale, Austin, and Fort Collins. I think we got a pretty good little triangle right there.
Then you're covered, right?
You're
covered. Are you? By the way, are you married? Kids? Anything like that? What's your? I didn't touch on that.
Yep. Was married right out of college. 4 kids, so 3 girls and a boy as well. Except for we're backwards. My son's the youngest.
How old is he?
He just turned 10.
Is he in wrestling?
He's wrestled 1 season. Wrestling isn't as much his sport as it was mine.
Okay.
He's actually really good. He's really good at football. And
Okay.
he loves basketball. And so that's the battle, is wrestling and basketball are during the same season. And his mom was big in basketball. So I'm trying to twist her arm, but I think I might have to give on that one because it might be football and basketball, but I'll squeeze in a few more wrestling seasons, I think.
Okay. Last question here. If you had to define your core purpose now at the age of 39, and I kind of believe that your core purpose changes sometimes as you get older and you move through life. If you had to put your core purpose when you wake up every day in a sentence or two, and I pushed you to answer that away from your wife and children, because that's going to be the natural answer probably. So if you can't really tie the core purpose to them, assuming that off to the side for a second, how would you describe it? What is JB's core purpose in life?
Well, honestly, I mean, you probably don't, you might want to edit this out of the show, but my core purpose is just to glorify God in everything I do. I want him to work through me. And so whatever that might be, with my family, with my wife, with my kids, here at the office, every morning driving in, I just say, hey, speak through me, work through me. I'm gonna give it everything I got. I'm gonna follow my guts. I'm gonna do what I feel is right. But ultimately, I'm just assuming it's because you're inspiring me to do that. Ultimately. Gotcha. So I guess my purpose, at the end of the day, is to make an impact. Make an impact on others, whether that's my kids, my family, or my friends, or at Madwire. And that's why I love Madwire, because I feel like there's no greater impact we could make, because every small business you help grow creates a job. That job pays that person, it puts food on the table, it puts our kids through college, it funds a charity. If we can help more small businesses grow, economies improve, communities improve, cultures improve. And so that's my sole purpose, really, at the end of the day, is make an impact. And I think what I'm doing right now is really keying in on that. Is it always going to be the case? No, maybe it's something else, but I think that purpose will remain.
That was a beautiful summary, my friend. I love that, because you're right. What you're doing for these entrepreneurs and these small businesses creates jobs, puts their kids through school, and that's a special feeling, right? I mean, yeah, you guys are making money, and that's great, but you're helping others build their businesses. That's got to be rewarding. I'm sure there are customers that you've had early on that you've helped grow into, multi-million-dollar clients now, and you're like, I've known John for 8 years. I remember when his business did $200,000 a year. Now it does $8 million. That's got to feel special.
Those are the best stories. We love those. So no, that's
awesome.
Huge.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on everything you guys are doing over there at Madwire. I mean, really special stuff. And like I said, you're online. You guys kill it. You guys kill it online with the reputation, the marketing.
Lord willing, it continues. It's an everyday battle.
It's madwire.com is the best thing for people to do, just madwire.com, or do you propose any other way to contact?
Madwire.com to learn about the Madwire as a company, but really marketing360.com if you're a small business interested in marketing products and services to help grow your business. Marketing360.com will be the destination site there.
All right.
Yeah.
JB, thank you, sir. I appreciate you being on the Riderflex podcast. Good stuff.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Well, hey, we need to connect soon. Northern Colorado.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right. Yeah, you bet. See ya.
The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.